Commanding Your Life. This is your host, Beverly Jones. I am an author, international speaker, certified seminar leader, and practitioner for the Silver Method and the Prime Directive and other techniques. On this show, I talk about how to expand your world of thought, exploring the world of positive thinking, the law of attraction, and consciousness from many points of view. I intend to share with you information that will enlighten and empower you in your life. I'm here to encourage you to think in the positive and so that miracles can happen. I truly believe that you've been given the power of the word and thought to create the life that you desire. This is a safe haven for discussion. We will entertain questions and ideas that will really open up your world. The thoughts and words and ideas expressed from the show are those of my guests or myself. We do not represent any organization. So please call in at 347-828-8437 when we are on air to ask any questions. Or email me at Beverly@commandingyourlife.com. That's Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. This information is in the description of this episode online. So again, welcome and thank you for spending your time with us, and let's start our program. Well, good morning, everyone. I just want to say I'm so happy you're with me today. And, you know, I was sitting here thinking about some other shows, radio shows that I've been on and other venues. And I realized that in all of the startups and the way they start their show and everything, the music is so upbeat and just really moving in the morning. But I want to be your calming force. I want to be the person that when you need to be relaxed and calm for the day, that I get you in that state of mind where you can mentally open your mind, relax, and just be able to think. It brings me back to the conversation I had about when we are in a frenzy, when we are just moving and everything is moving at such a fast pace, do you remember or do you ever say, wait a minute, hold on, give me a moment, give me some time to think? Well, that's what I want you to do. When you're listening to me, is to give you some time to relax and to think. Open your mind to all the possibilities in the world. And give you that one time of your day where you can just take a breath. So that's what I want you to do right now. And remember, if you're driving or operating machinery, please, do this at another time. But I want you to just relax. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath and out. And think about what you want your week to look like. Think about one or two things that you would really like to accomplish and that you would like some help with. That one thing, think about what it will look like, or it does look like, when that one or two things are accomplished this week. How will you feel? How will others around you, if it affects other people, how will they feel when it's accomplished?
And what will they say to you when it's done? Or will they just give you a smile, shake your hand, slap your back? Are they happy? Are you happy? However it is, give me one or think of one act that will happen when it is complete. Keep that one act in your mind until it is done. And this one act is something that indicates that what you want to complete. All right. And thank you for being here. Thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for all the wonderful things that come into our lives each and every day, all the wonderful people that we come into our lives. And we want to send a blessing out to those, all of our friends, our relatives, people in our lives, whether they're positive influence or they have a negative influence. Send them peace and happiness. And it is so. All right. Yes, we are moving forward today. It is May the 4th. My goodness, this year is just trekking right along, but I tell you, it's wonderful. Whatever day it is, it's wonderful. Here in the Dallas area, the sun is shining again. So today, we are talking about 3 ways to recognize inspired actions. Yeah, but what are inspired actions? What do you think of when you say you had an inspired action? Because we are magnificent manifesting machines in ourselves, sometimes we do it so well we don't recognize that we've done it. All right. And the key is we've never been taught to really recognize those little nudges for us to do certain things. And when we just make a casual request, we're not doing any meditation, we're not in a formal prayer, and things show up in our lives and we go, oh, that's just a coincidence. Oh, wow, did that happen? For me now, I am trained myself to be so highly sensitive that I now recognize almost immediately when something shows up and I can associate it with something I said previously or recently. So little nudges to tell you to do certain things in answer to something that you desire. All right? Those little nudges, those things. Pick up the phone, right? And call someone and they say, I was just thinking about you. I've been wanting to talk to you. And you go, okay. Well, now I say, okay, I got your message. I heard you. That's why I picked up the phone and called you. Or somebody else will call me and I'll go, good, you heard me. And they go, what do you mean? They know me now, but it's like, oh, you've been thinking about me, huh? I said, yeah. I sent out my vibes to have you give me a call, right? Well, this thing that's called intuition, some people, all right, are not comfortable with the idea of intuition, nor are they comfortable with the idea of saying that we have psychic abilities, because psychic, the word psychic, is negative or has been negative in our culture. The key is that when someone says psychic ability or intuition or I had a gut feeling and I acted on it, is that little nudge called inspired action. It is that ability, that natural ability that you were born with. It's part of your DNA. You get these little hunches, You get desires. You might get a little piece of information, a flash of an idea, something that will cause you to just act. And you've heard people say, I don't know why I did that. I just had to do it. And I needed to do that. And look what I found or what I got. Or you've heard, maybe people on the news. Well, even in TV programs, because a lot of things on TV, in TV shows, the writer took it from something that has happened in real life. And they said, I just needed to go do that. I felt I needed to go to this location. All right. Now, many of you have watched the news. You've watched things, and the mother who pulled her child from the Baltimore riot because her daughter said, you got to go down there, you got to go. And she recognized her child and pulled him out of harm's way. Well, if she hadn't done what her daughter, I think it was her daughter, said about going down and seeing what happened, or she just felt that need to do it, she could have said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay out of harm's way. But she came and saved her child from possibly something else going on. Well, this is a feeling of knowing, right? Now, I'm not saying she, all of a sudden got this feeling, but she acted on a feeling inside that she needed to go, right? Now, others of you and myself have had vivid dreams that were so real, they knew that it was an answer to a question. It was an answer to something that they required. So think about yourself and think about things that happen for you. And just pay attention when you just all of a sudden an idea pops in your head or you decide to do something. Was it an answer to something that you were thinking about or wanting? I personally have learned that I hear a thought on the right side in the back, about around back of my ear, right side of my head, when I am being led by higher intelligence. I just know. Now I know. I also know that when I am thinking and it's near the front of my head, it's me thinking and coming up with answers. It just is. Over these last few years, or the period of years, I've learned to recognize the voice, and that the voice is in capital letters. Now, if I do not act right away, if I don't do anything, I will normally hear that thought or a similar thought 2 additional times. So for a total of 3 knocks, right? 3 personal opportunities 3 times. It's like, go do this, right? So we've heard that opportunity knocks but once. Well, for me and for many others, it knocks more than once. But I know for me, it's 3 times. And if I don't act on that first nudge, if I hear it a couple more times, I need to go do it. And I've learned if I didn't do it, I do it much later, there is a consequence for me when it tells me to do things like I was told to lock my car door. And I said, I know my door is locked, right? I know that my doors are locked. There was no reason why it wouldn't be locked. And I was nudged 3 times. Well, that night. All right, so I start paying attention. Even if I feel that I know that I've done what I was supposed to do, I pay attention to those nudges because they're always right. So how can you recognize inspired actions when they are presented to you? Well, I've already started talking about the one. Review times when you have followed your thoughts. All right? And that's that desire to call or text a friend or a family member and they tell you that they wanted to talk to you. Note that. But I want you to note it in a notebook. Get yourself a notebook, a journal, right? And you can label it whatever you want to, inspired action, little nudges. I'm putting together a manifestation log with the appropriate questions and things that you can use. All right, it'll be out probably toward the end of May. I still have some more touches and things to put on it. But I want you to note who, what, when, where, and how this desire manifested itself within you. And what this is going to do is serve as a point of reference for the next time you have this feeling and you act. And you say, point of reference? I say yes. What a point of reference is this? Something you have observed or experienced which has impressed that information on your brain. So later you can refer back to it to help you determine who, what, when, where, how, whatever, what's going on in your life. I just gave you a point of reference for me when I hear something 3 times, or when I don't pay attention, what my consequence was. That is a point of reference. Now, something other than dealing with inspired action, let's just talk about point of reference when you're going somewhere or you're given directions and you tell someone, okay, when you get to the corner, there's a 7-Eleven, go down 2 more blocks and you'll see a CVS. Well, I want you to turn right at the CVS. That street name is XYZ, right? And then when you get down to the rec center, I want you to do each one of those, the 7-Eleven, the CVS, the rec center, are points of reference for the person's directions. So I want you to think of points of reference as far as you're doing inspired actions in the same way. It leads you and it directs you. And over a period of time, the person taking that route, they automatically, they don't even register the 7-Eleven, they just know, keep going. And the CVS, but not registered, but they know they're there, they make that turn, and so on. And that's how you want to be when it starts coming to the inspired actions, these thoughts that come to you. You will begin to recognize when they come. You'll begin to recognize where do you hear these thoughts or where do you feel them. Some people, as I said, they have a gut feeling. Something in their stomach changes, or in their chest, or in their back, in their upper back, lower back, in their head. Someplace in your body, you're going to get an indication that this is a nudge. This is an inspired action. Thomas Edison has said that while he was in the inventing mode, and he invented lots of things in his laboratory, that he would get a hunch or an idea. The man who invented the sewing machine, well, he was working on a way to create a sewing machine. He couldn't figure it out. He had a dream, and he was in a pot. And these natives had put him in a pot. He was about to be cooked. But what he noticed, that the spears that they were trying to poke him with had a hole at the end, right? Just above the point of the spear, there was a hole, an eyelet hole. And he woke up from his dream, and that solved the problem for him creating the sewing machine. For those of you who are sewers and have a machine, you know that needle is backwards from the hand sewing needle, right? And back then, that's all he had was the hand sewing needle, and so the thread was on the end and the opposite from the point. And when he put that hole at the end with the point, it was a whole new ball game. That was in a dream. And he basically said it came from somewhere, right? He was given the information in order to resolve the problem. And there are other examples of famous people who say their answers came in a thought, in a moment, out of nowhere, or in a dream, or they were inspired to see someone. So get these points of reference for the next time that you have a feeling and you act on it or you don't act on it, and what happened. So that's number one. Number two, when you've lost something, all right, how did you find that object? Now, most of us are going to run around frantically trying to figure out when the last time we had it. You know, did we retrace our steps, or we try to force ourselves to remember? You know, that thing that you put away in the proper place so that you could find it the next time, and you go, oh, where is that place? When you put it away, you said it's a logical location, and now you have no clue where it is. All right? So what I want you to do is the next time you forget something or place an item somewhere, I want you to simply just stop. I want you to relax. And then I want you to take 3 slow, deep breaths. Just relax. Now, those of you who have been with me for a while, you know that is relaxing you and getting your mind to slow down, and you're getting yourself into the alpha or theta state. Slowly and silently say to yourself, I command that I now have, and whatever that item is. And then you say, it is shown to me within the next few minutes. Thank you. It is done. Let me say that again. I command that I now have the item that you're missing, or something you want to remember. It is shown to me within the next few minutes. Thank you. It is done. I do this on those days and when I'm in one room and I go to another room and I go, what did I come in here for? Yeah, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. What did I? And I said, okay, there was a reason. And I stop and I do basically that. I close my eyes. I look up as though looking out at the top of my head. That's a mechanical thing, all right? Mechanical movement, physical movement that triggers your mind to go to theta. Close your eyes, look out the top of your head, and say these things. And I've gotten to the point now that very rarely do I have to head back into the other room to try to remember. It's even if I turn around and say, okay, you're not answering me fast enough, I go in the other room, and boom, it comes to me. You no longer have to go and retrace your steps once you believe this works and put it into place. I even use this when I'm talking to someone and I need to remember the name of that. Remember how you remember the name of that actor or that person that, or you know her, you know, she wears her hair such and such. The last time and I have this habit, I can get the first letter, for some reason, the first letter of the person's name. So now I just say, you know, I command that I now have the name of the person that I'm looking for in a few minutes. And it is so, right? And it comes to me. Now, one time it didn't come fast. And when it did come to me, I said, thank you. I appreciate you giving it to me. Next time I want it faster. And some of you out there are going, what? I said, oh, yeah. I felt funny when I said it, but I said, no. I didn't get the answer at the time I needed it. I need you. Subconscious, I need you to work faster. right? When I say I need it now, I need it now. Like having a temper tantrum, right? But your subconscious will go to work to retrieve the information and present a clue or an answer to your conscious mind. And the more you use this, the better you will become at retrieving the information that you require. Notice, if the answer does not come to you as soon as you want it, you say thank you for the answer or thank you for whatever it is, and then the next time make it sooner. And it is so. Your answers will start coming in closer when you ask. So that's number 2. All right. Points of reference. 2, ask for what you want. Number 3, and note when it comes in. Number 3, anytime you get an answer to a question or an item and it shows up in your life and you know that you expressed the desire to have it, I want you to take a moment, think about that first time you indicated that you wanted it to come into your life. And if you thought about it a second time, I want you to note that, and I want you to put it in that journal. For me, the first, when I ask and it shows up, that is from request to your manifestation, right? From request to manifest. But this, number 3, I'm talking about from manifest to request. And I talk about when I was in college many, many years ago, and I went to the student union to pick up my mail, and I had a box. And in that box, I thought it was a care package from home, but in that box was a pink parka, the famous pink parka. And I got it. I didn't open it until I got in my dorm room, but I opened it up, and I saw what it was, and I cried. Because I had been wanting a parka, not necessarily pink, but I wanted a parka. I wanted this during this time frame, in this era, parkas, down-filled winter coats. I was in West Virginia, was the thing that everybody was wearing. And I was one of those college students that wasn't there with a lot of money. I was on student loans. I was working a work-study program. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had been wanting a parka, and that parka showed up in my life. And I kept asking, how did Miss Grace know that I wanted a parka? It was from a friend of my mother's. So this is a note for me, right? The parka showed up in my life. How did it show up? Well, how did I start asking for it? And I was saving money and that type of thing in order to do it, all right? So I want you to record that, all right? Also, if the same thing holds true when something shows up that you did not want in your life, I want you to record that. That is manifest to request. Go from when it showed up into your life and backtrack to find out when you first started talking about it, and record how you felt and what you thought. In all 3 instances, I want you to note who, what, when, how your desires manifested in that manifestation log. All right? Or each experience will serve as a point of reference for the next time you want to manifest something into your life. I want to thank you for being with me today, and I really, truly hope that this has been a blessing to you and that you will find points of reference every day in your life to help you become better and better and better each and every day.
Thank you for listening today. I hope that what we shared with you today is a blessing to you. Don't forget, you can receive a free Silver Ultramind ESP System mini-course valued at over $100 and start using the Silver Ultramind system today to help you make the rest of your life the best of your life. To get the free course, go to silverfox.silvacourses.com. That's silverfox.silva, S-I-L-V-A, courses.com. Click on the newsletter link on the left side of the page and follow the instructions. If you have any suggestions for the show, send them to me at Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. And don't forget, I have a free twice-monthly Commanding Your Life telecircle on the first and third Thursdays. You get the opportunity to learn more, to ask questions, and to become engaged. So more information on the circle can be found at meetup, M-E-E-T-U-P, .commandingyourlife.com. That's meetup.commandingyourlife.com. Or go to commandingyourlife.com and look at events. Join me next week for another exciting and interesting topic or guest. Matthew 9:29 says, as you have believed, let it be done to you. And it is so.